Hello, everybody. This is 3SP, and I'm coming to you with another update. And this is groundbreaking. It just proves the narrative that Donald Trump and a lot of conservatives, and not just conservatives, but people in the center who are not taking sides, this is confirming what they've been saying. Inside Hillary Clinton's secret takeover of the DNC. This is an article written by Donna Brazile. She's promoting a book now about when she became the chairman of the DNC. But in this, she tells all about how Hillary Clinton took over the Democratic National Convention before, like a whole year before she was even made the nominee. If I were a Democrat, I would be infuriated. But then at some point, you have to apologize to the people that have been trying to tell you this for over a year, that she has been financing and directly running the DNC. Now, one thing I still don't agree with on Donna Brazile's point here is that she still talks about the Russian hacking. And this is what it says: when I was asked to run the Democratic Party after the Russians hacked our emails, I stumbled into a shocking truth about the Clinton campaign. So basically, Hillary Clinton took over the Democratic, just the whole Democratic Party, a year before she was actually chosen as the Democratic nominee to run for president. And somehow she beat Bernie Sanders, which, at least in my area, I live in the Midwest, and there were a lot of Bernie supporters. I didn't really know a lot of people that were directly supporting Hillary Clinton until Bernie Sanders lost the nomination. But what Donna Brazile is bringing out here is how Hillary Clinton, a year ahead of time, she took over the DNC and she used her own money to pay back some debts that the DNC accrued, because it was still millions of dollars in debt after the 2012 campaign of Barack Obama. And they were slowly paying people back. And in a lot of cases, they just were dodging people that they owed money. So Hillary Clinton bought all those debts for the DNC. Then uh, somehow she was able to put the DNC on an allowance. She gave them what the parameters were and how much money would be spent in the DNC. And in battleground states, money went toward basically running her campaign through the DNC. But then in Democratic stronghold cities, how any money that was brought in was just brought back to the Hillary Clinton campaign. This was before she was made into the nominee. So not only are they still going with this fake Russian hack of the DNC, the beans are spilled now out on Bernie Sanders was totally robbed of the nomination. There was far more people that voted for Bernie Sanders, and it was basically just super delegates or people that paid the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton Foundation paid them. So it's like a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours situation. But Donna Brazile, again, she spilled the beans on this. So everything that conservatives have been saying as far as the rigged election is now proven to be true. Now, and this connects with what we see with with the Mueller investigation of Trump and the Russian collusion, where they just made indictments. And the indictments had nothing to do with Russian collusion. It's more to do with money laundering. But in the process of investigating for Russian collusion in the Trump administration, they're finding Russian ties to Podesta and his company, Tony Podesta, the brother of John Podesta, who was the leader of the campaign of the Clinton Foundation. They are seeing now that there are direct connections to Russian sources and Russian funding. There was, and Facebook even recently had to admit what they're calling the hacked election is that they're saying Russian companies and the Russian government paid for advertising to sway our American election, basically putting out propaganda. But they keep framing the statement as if Trump was working with Vladimir Putin so that he could win the election. And when they call it a hack, they're trying to put in people's minds that there were hackers connecting through the internet to the online voting terminals and the voting booths and switching votes. But that's all just that's the mind game that they're playing. So the Russian hack that they're talking about is basically that Russian sources paid for advertising to be shown to try to sway the American election. And what Facebook is now having to admit is that the Russian ads that were put out were not in favor of Donald Trump, but they were in favor of Hillary Clinton. So I think this goes further into the connection of saying and proving that the Russian collusion is really with the Clintons and the DNC, that the whole Donald Trump collusion with the Russia thing is all projection from the DNC. They're just projecting their own crimes onto him. This might explain why Trump hasn't got rid of Robert Mueller from doing the investigation into the Russian hacks and the Russian collusion, because all they're doing is they're digging up dirt that has happened in Washington, D.C. that has no connection to Donald Trump. And also, they're finding Russian connections in the DNC. That's even why we're finding out things about the Uranium One deal, where Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are directly responsible and connected to selling 20% of the United States uranium supply to the Russians, to Russian companies, so that they can make atomic weapons or atomic energy. But that's more Russian connections. So it seems like Trump is actually doing something extremely intelligent by letting Mueller investigate this. The more he pulls up, the more it implicates the DNC and the Clintons and even the Obama administration. So what we need to hope for right now is that all the truth comes out, that whoever needs to be implicated and not lied about, but implicated into real crimes, that they'll face their charges, and also that the truth comes out. So the truth needs to come out. The American people need to know, and we need to have real elections. So with all this, we're seeing that all the Russian connections, all the different connections, they are to the Clintons, the Obamas, and the DNC. And this is where I'm going to leave it. This is 3SP signing out.